G'day folks. Oh. Well, I'm about to start wiring the beast up. I've got it all mapped out, the fuses, I've got the relays, I've got it all sort of mapped out ready for wiring, and it's coming together really well, guys. I haven't had much of a chance to work on it. I've actually been back at work. Yeah, the boys have been calling out for me, so I've gone back and done a little bit of work, and it's actually bought me a little bit more time. So I may, hopefully in the next day or two, get back onto running some wires and getting very close to finishing it. I'd be guessing, I reckon if I had sort of 2 solid days on it, I'd be able to get it started up and get it all tested. But it's looking really good and I'm really excited. I had a fella by the name of Rob. He's been following me for a little while. He's a top dude. I've got to know him personally, and he sent me over a few little electrical bits, and I just want to give him a shout out. I've actually got some more stuff coming from him, but he sent me the first little load, and I'm absolutely stoked. Thanks, Rob. You are the man. You really are, and you're a top bloke too. He sent me one of these, which is a 20. It's a 20 amp. It's like a, I don't know. It's like a, what would you call it? Well, I use a safety board at work, and it's similar to this. So if you get a leak detection, like a leak in an earth or a short, it trips out, and that's like a test mode. So I'm not sure if it is that. I'm guessing it is. So I'm going to use that. That's awesome, actually. And he sent me and I'll show you in a second, a 10 fuse sort of box outlet. So, and he gave me some fuses with it as well, an assortment there. And that's really kind of you, Rob. Really, this sort of stuff really touches my heart, because I don't know, I'm just one of these humble guys that I don't expect anything for nothing, but if guys are, offering little bits just to help me along, it's really a kind gesture, the rods. And Blair offered his distributor, and he even gave me that little snake camera. It's just, I don't know, it's just, yeah, it's really nice. It is, guys. And I felt giving that 2-step box to someone, and give a little back in return. So it's all good, guys. I really appreciate it, and that's what it's all about. All right, let's go and have a look at the, oh, hang on. That's what I was going to say. The T-Rex, I've been going on about it, guys, for a while. How good it is. I built the trailer with it. That's where I got to really know that stuff, when I did my enclosed trailer. And I started using it in other places because it is incredible stuff. It really is. I've used, little bits of silicone to block up little bits of holes, but silicone's got its limitations. It's not really much of a glue, whereas this acts like a silicone, but it's got the properties of an incredible glue. They claim, this is what they claim, it's the strongest sealant adhesive on earth. That's a big claim. But I tell you what, I've never really come across anything as strong as this. They say here too, 320 kilograms. If you've got 100 by 100 square of contact with glue on it, which is a 4-inch square of glue, it'll hold up 320 kilograms. That's a fair bit of weight, guys. So that's a big call, but it's strong. When I did put the triaxle in, I had to cut a bit of the guard away and sort of chop it back a little bit to modify it. And I had some of that glue that was glued onto the panel of some of the steel that I cut back out. My God, I was there with the chisel, honestly, and belting it trying to get it off because I wanted to use a little bit of steel. And I actually ruined the bit of aluminum that I was chiseling it off. Just tore it, you know, just smashed it to pieces. It really holds, guys, so it's awesome. I used it on my paneling, you know, my control panel to glue it all up. And I'm actually starting to use it in spots where I wouldn't normally glue it. Traditionally, you know, you're using rivets and tacks or whatever you got to do as fasteners. Well, this stuff, if you can sort of wait 24 hours, hold it in position, this is starting to take over, guys. It's awesome stuff. Do a bit of research on it, and it's incredible stuff. It's a polymer, and there's a lot of properties you can use this for. A lot of well, good properties about it. So I love it. I really love it. There you go. All right, let's go and have a look at the wiring, or not the wiring, the panel that I've sort of started to get ready for wiring. Well, guys, you probably haven't seen this. This is what I was sort of on about in the last sort of video, and yeah, I was well, to start with, I was going to put it all in the front here, but I don't know, you know, I got thinking about it, and it started to look a little bit busy, and to me, I've got options here now to add to that, but for the bulk of the wiring is in the back, sort of in this little corner here. And I thought, wow, this is awesome, guys. I am so thrilled with it. Rob, this is what Rob sent, is the fuse. Look at that. It's got little lights on it, different fuses, like ratings, a decent heavy feed line you can run in. So that'll be awesome. That is absolutely going to be awesome. So we've got plenty of outlets now. This is the water methanol relay. This will be the fan for the front of the rad, the cooling fan. This will be one of either the turbo scavenge pump or out of the heads. We've got the same deal there. One of the, you know, there'll be the two scavenge pumps and the fuel pump. Now I've got 3 other spare ones just in case I want to upgrade, or one of these fail, I can sort of swap it over. Yeah, so that's brilliant there. That'll be awesome. We've got a decent feed line coming in. I've actually got another one here. I haven't decided what I'm actually going to do. This actually ran all the, well, this line here was the original one to running all my pumps. So we may use that. This one here was to the ignition, so there is a 70 amp fuse on that one. And I've got it mounted just in behind there, the fuse. So we might run the ignition box off this one and other little bits and pieces. And so this one here will be used up fairly well. And then I've got a decent one here, like I said, to I can always come off that if I want to add another box or, you know, another electronic device. So I'll probably run I might run the water methanol box off this, and I'll run the ignition box off it, and I think that'll do that nicely, quite easily. Got a decent ground, so I'll put a nice 3/8 bolt or bit of threaded rod, so we've got a really good ground, because that was the trouble I had before, shocking ground. So yeah, we're well underway. I'm actually going to start, like I said, start wiring it all up. I just thought just for example, we'd put little clips on it and zippy tie them together, and maybe a little dab of that T-Rex, you know, just to hold it back in there and in position to get a nice shape. I'll take my time. I've got some nice wire. I've got some just plain red and black, so it's not going to be all jumbled coloured wire. So yeah, it'll be awesome. It's all 25 amp I'm going to use, so it's nice heavy duty cabling to start with. I think that's the key. Keep everything nice and all the same, and it's simple. Alright, we'll go around the other side. Before I do that, you can see where I've mounted the coil. So keep it all inside here. It'll be, oh look, it's bloody brilliant. I'm bloody stoked with it, guys. I really am. Now I've put in some nice switches. Now they're a push-pull design. Hang on a sec, I'll just get in position. Yep. So obviously when they're pushed, that's off. That's in the off position. And it'll be on. And there's a little light in there, so that'll be able to let you know that they're on. So, for example, maybe that'll be the ignition. And we got the pumps. So what I thought, we prime up the fuel bowl. So if she hadn't been running for a while, we prime it up, switch it back off, ignition's still on, and then we hit the old starter. Fire him up, get him running, and then flick it back on. So, yeah, awesome. So you won't go far if you forget to put the pumps on and you drive off. Well, you're not going to get far. You won't even get any boost. You know, it'll just die. And I'm going to put as well lights in here that illuminate everything. It's just a matter of getting into a habit, knowing that you've got to pull that back on to have them both on, and you've got your pumps, and like I said, all the power feed off each of the pumps and ignition and everything will be lit up, so if there is a light out, you'll know you've got a problem. So I've got my water methanol little trigger light there that comes on once boost starts ramping up, and yeah, it's great. This is fantastic, guys. It's, you know what it is, it's just simplifying things. So if we do have a problem, I can get to it very easily. Just a matter of diving in there, checking the fuses, make sure a relay's working. All the wiring's sort of easily accessible, but hidden away from the driver's side. And it just keeps it easy. Rather than having it all in under here, all bloody a jumble of mess, which it was. You know, it was just it was a bloody fire waiting to happen. I had a really bad, bloody, nearly earthing out onto the chassis part of this wiring was. It was bloody shit. So, if I ever decide, and I won't do it, but if anyone ever decides if I want to sell it or whatever, put it back on the street, I've still got the dash. It's just a matter of buying a wiring kit and rewiring it, and you know, you can get it all back going again. I'm not going to start cutting this up, or I'm just going to leave it as it is. That's why I was very keen to put this sort of panel on it and not try and, you know, get gauges back in here, and I'll just leave it. I'm not even interested in touching that, so I think that's keeping it all here. Like I said, I can soon pull it out in one big setup if I ever need to, so I think it's great. Another little tip, guys, before I go. It's not really a tip, but it's just what I've got one of these charge and maintain battery chargers, so it sort of tops it up, and I always used to use alligator clips which came with it and clamp it on these and leave it on there while I'm, you know, not using it. Well, I'm going to bolt it through there, positive and negative, then I'll tape up the positive side, which is this side here, so we don't get anything just sort of touching it and arcing out or shorting out, and then I can just plug it in. Every time I sort of want to charge it up, just plug the unit in and this will stay in there. I thought that's a pretty good idea. So that'd be very good. Alright folks, well, we're sort of getting into it. I'm so thrilled that I've got my MSD box running again. That's bloody brilliant. I've got my little Dizzy ready to pop in, and yeah, I love these. These are awesome. These are really awesome. I was actually going to use little toggle switches, but I saw them, the bit of old stock he had, and they're nice big chunky switches. Alright guys, well, I'll pop one up soon when I get into the wiring of it. Still got to talk about the turbo. I just want to sort of mention, I have done vids on it before. How come it works so good? And there is actually a few things that I've worked out over the years and fine-tuned that I haven't really talked about. So we'll talk about it, why this sort of setup is as good as it is. I think there was, to be honest guys, there was a little bit of luck involved in setting it up, but you know, I was fortunate to have the right exhaust system to start with, and I think and I've sort of really I've understood it all over the years, you know, the flow and sizings. I mean, I could have had a really small system on it and not capitalised on the potential of it now, if you understand what I mean. Or I would have never have known, but I think I've really hit the nail on the head with this system, and it works incredible. So, and I keep refining it, and keeps just getting better and better. All right, folks. Well, I'll pop one up soon. I'll catch you all later.